In this video, we'll be covering data categorization and classification. So what data classification does is it allows us to generically classify data into distinct groups. This is particularly useful for when you have a lot of specifics and details in your data, which you want to be able to compare easily. For example, in this data set, you can see that hepatitis A and hepatitis E are classified differently, and dengue fever and dengue hemorrhagic fever are also separate. So what happens if you want to know the total number of dengue cases? Right, so that's the purpose of data classification. So we'll cover them in two broad areas. One is binning of numbers. So for example, in number of cases, you want to classify, based on the number of outbreaks in that particular week, how much is the descriptive total. So for example, if you have less than 10 outbreaks, then it's nothing too much to be worried about, right? But if you have more than 100, right, this might be something you want to concern yourself with. So we want to be able to classify such data so that we can loosely group them together. Okay, so to do that, let's begin by creating a new chain. So we'll call this exercise 2, number binning. Okay, and in exercise 2, instead of recreating all the steps from the previous exercise, we will do a chain call, okay, to retrieve those details. Okay, so once you've done that, if you run the chain call, what it does is it will take the entire output from exercise 1 read API and then bring it over to chain exercise number 2 as an input. So to start off with numbers binning, the first thing we want to do is to convert number of cases into a number. We know that number of cases is not a number yet because in Ambience there is a font color to dictate what the data type is. So over here you can see the font type is black, similar to disease and epi week. So we'll add in a change field type similar to the previous video. Okay, and here we'll just convert field number of cases to integer 32. Okay, you see that now number of cases are represented in blue font color. So to bin them, go ahead and add in the step that we want, which is number describe. So essentially this describes a particular range of numbers for you. Okay, so we will want it to be on the numbers field called number of cases, which we have just changed the field type. Okay, so in the first default test, it gives you less than 10. So any number that is 9 or less will have a description of less than 10. Okay, we can also add in a catch-all, which you just leave it as blank. Okay, so in this case, it will just be other. So the catch-all means any number that is more than 10, 10 or more, will fall under this description of other. So we'll just save this first and then run. Okay, so you'll see that for all those less than 10, it will have a resulting called less than 10, and then those that's more than 10 will fall under other. Okay, so we can add in more rules. The important thing here is you want to do this in a descending or ascending order. Now in this case, we are doing it in an ascending order, right? So less than, okay, because there are many 0 cases, we'll do a less than 1. And here we'll put no cases reported. Okay, then the next test will be, let's say 20. So less than 20 cases reported. Or rather, let's make it more descriptive. So 1 to 20 cases. So it will not start from 0 because we've already singled out those that is less than 1. So all those less than 1 will be taken out from the pool. So only those that is more than 1 will remain. And in this case, our next rule then catches all numbers, right, from 1 to 20. Okay, and the next one, maybe we'll do less than 100. Finally, more than 100. Okay, always remember that you can also use equal. So less than or equal. In this case, we'll do 21 to 100, and then more than 100. So what you're seeing here is that I am doing my binning based on ascending order, right? Starting from 0, and then after that less than 20, less than or equals to 100, and finally all those that is more than 100. Okay, in this case we have captured all numbers, but if you want to be sure, you can put here no match. So anything that is less than 100 should be captured in these 3 categories. Anything that is more than 100 should be captured in this category over here. So anything that falls outside likely is an error. So we have a no match descriptor over here. Okay, so we'll run to this step now. You'll see that the numbers has been properly classified using the description fields. In the next video, we'll cover classification and categorization of strings.